Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
How are you?
Not bad.
Good.
Not bad. What was I gonna say to you? So how's your weather where you're at?
Big storm right now.
Where are you?
Near London, Ontario.
It's been pretty hot here, but it I see it's cooler. So
Hmm.
something's coming in BC here too at the same time.
It was hot. It was stinking hot all weekend.
Yeah, I think up in Vernon, my sister was saying it was in the 40s.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was.
And my she had her grandchildren out at the lake. She
Yeah.
went from 10 till 12, and then she said, "Oh, it's too hot. I got to get him in." And then one of the little guys, he started a fever, and I'm like, "Get him into lukewarm bath right now."
Yeah.
Like
That's strange.
with those temperatures, eh? So
Hmm.
maybe got it heat exhaustion or something.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was thinking. So how have you been?
Just managing.
Have
Better
you
and
been
better.
have you been getting out of bed?
Oh yeah.
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 Is there anybody that hasn't been getting out of bed?
I don't know. Maybe
Like
my mom.
somebody's really depressed about your son?
Probably my mother.
Okay, because he's when I'm asking him, I'm trying to ask him to come in, and sometimes it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you can't get them,
Yeah.
and so I'm before you came on, I'm asking, would you please can you? And so what I have to really ask is your guides and angels and my guides and angels come in and give us the information we need to know.
Hmm.
And then your family members and hopefully somebody will come, right?
Yeah.
And so I got, do you know if he hurt his elbow or his arm at all
I'm.
before
mm,
before he passed?
His shoulder was hurting.
Did it go down into the arm?
Yeah, he was putting ice packs.
Okay, so that's good because he's
Yeah.
showing me, okay, he's showing me just showing me arms. So that's all,
Yeah.
kind of. So I'm like, okay, I didn't get that before. And then and so he's trying to give me some information, right?
Yeah.
And I know he liked the mountains, but did he stay up in the mountains?
He went up there and threw axes at
Yeah,
trees. Yeah. And bow and arrow.
yeah. A lot of people in BC do that,
Yeah. It's a
right?
lumberjack. He had to be a lumberjack.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
You don't hear that word much, lumberjack.
Yeah.
Um,
It's old
yeah,
school.
so that makes sense. Because I feel like he's wherever he is right now, like I always say heaven,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's that same environment as being up in the mountains. Like
Yeah.
I'm at peace, right? But he's really concerned about a lady who's not getting out of bed.
That would be my mom.
Yeah. And is that over his passing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you have a talk to her about that? Because he's
Yeah.
really, really concerned. Get her moving is what he
Okay.
wants, right? Because it's like she's huddled up on the bed
Hmm.
and he's like trying to move her. Does that
Right.
make sense? Um, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
his little brother will be going over there today, so he will get her moving.
Okay. Yeah, it's really, really important. You see, a lot of people, I'm really happy that I don't have to talk with talk to you about the importance of the other children,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So many people forget there's other children there.
No. Yeah, no. Caden was very good at telling me over and over again through my intuition that I have other children.
Yeah.
I
And
have other things to do. So,
that that's when you know that he's talking to you.
oh yeah.
That would be a message from spirit for sure.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I just didn't have that feeling. I had to talk to you about that, where
Hmm.
I've really literally had, I said to one lady who had great tragedy, both her daughters passed,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to tell her she had a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "What effing miracle?"
Yeah.
Right? Fair, because
Yeah. Two girls
when
gone.
when tragedy strikes like that, not just two, there was four
Oh.
mothers.
Mm.
And I said, there was somebody who didn't pass.
Right.
And she goes, yes, my one granddaughter. I said, she doesn't have her auntie, she doesn't have her cousin, she doesn't have her mom, she has you.
Yeah.
And then it was, how am I going to survive? I
Yeah.
said, she's going to help you.
Oh yeah.
So, your mom, I think, is in that situation where she really needs,
Mm-hmm.
right?
She's not able to come out of it, it seems. I'm way ahead of her because I study all the spiritual near-death experiences. I'm learning all these new things. Um, really tuned in to Caden and the stuff that he's doing. Like the other day, I heard the doorknob moving at the front door as if somebody was coming in, but I knew that I had left the door open. So I'm like, is Matt coming home early? What's going on? So I go look in the hallway and the door is open, but I can still hear the doorknob moving as if he's about to come in. And then I hear a cat meow 3 times in the hallway, and that would be his cat, Bo. So I know he's coming in. He's talking to me all the time, and it's just getting more and more elaborate. Like the video we got of the guitar pick flying off of the guitar.
Yeah, you didn't send me that, but that's
I
crazy.
will, I will. And the video of him sitting down and watching his girlfriend feed her baby. You can see him there.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
it's about now, does anybody live close or have been involved in forest fire?
His girlfriend that he had in BC, she fights forest fires.
Okay. And have you chatted with her?
Nah, she sent me a few pictures about 3 weeks ago that reminded her of Caden. But
Okay.
she doesn't talk much. She's very to herself. She's very hard to get a hold of. And I think she's lost in that death.
Okay. Yeah, because all of a sudden he's giving me the forest fires, and I'm like, why are you giving me forest fires? So I have to give you that, right? So you might want to see if you can get a hold of her
Hmm.
a little, it could be her as well as your mom.
Right. Well, his
Right?
best friend still lives there too, and it's Kelowna, so there's always forest fires.
Oh, those were big fires. One of the girls that grew up with my son, her
Hmm.
house was destroyed in them. So
Mm,
she's lucky she got her and her kids out.
mm,
Um, yeah, Kelowna
dangerous.
up there, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think everywhere in the world is dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like if you were asking, I feel like he's really learning about how to communicate, and because you are
Yeah.
learning how to communicate. So
Yeah.
that I feel like it's excelling his part.
Hmm.
Um, because I feel like, yeah, I just feel like when you're asking, does he have something to say? Well, the one thing is there's because I wrote it down,
Hmm.
depression here, mom, and I kind of had a question mark, like I
Hmm.
didn't really feel that, or some women he cares for
Hmm.
about not getting out of bed. So
It could
that's
be
the
his
biggest,
girlfriend too.
yeah, because he showed me the forest fires, which I had not, and if that's what she does, fights them.
Hmm.
It's rare for women to fight forest fires, eh?
I know, she's such a tomboy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, good for her. But it
Yeah.
is very, very dangerous work, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's a good way of letting us know she may be also. one of the ones he's concerned about. Because if he's that active,
Yes, he is.
he'll try and help you out with your learning
Hmm.
as as he's learning
Yeah.
because he knows that you really want to go there.
Yeah.
But I feel like the real message that he's giving you is both women, yeah. So one that doesn't get out of bed, she needs to get woken up. And
Mhm.
the other one is, yeah, forest fires.
Hmm.
I can see a lot of smoke. Is she fighting fires right now? Do you know?
No, I don't know. I'd have to ask her.
I don't know of any in BC at the moment, but hey, who am I to know everything, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Um, um, keep your eye on the target. So what's your target or goal right now?
My target or goal right now. I don't know. I have so many.
Is it your mediumship?
Uh, that's part of it, to become more spiritual and aware of more than just earth, constantly growing, yeah, constantly learning because it's an endless amount of information.
Oh, I don't think you ever stopped learning.
No, it's just I started out with Matt Frazier and Teresa Caputo, watching
Yeah.
that stuff. I got bored of that because you see it so many times, you already believe it, right? So somehow I ended up getting into near-death experiences, and I don't know how the heck that even came into my feed, but it did. So I started following that because I feel like they're giving me these things too.
They are.
Coming in and now it's sort of like past life regressions and learning about that and Palladian or the
I
uh the
I have
records, whatever they call the records.
Akashic.
Yes, so I'm learning all these terms that I never ever knew before. And I'm teaching everyone around me these things because they're not necessarily teaching, but they're following me. So my partner follows whatever I'm doing. Initially he'll be like, whatever. But then when that video of the guitar pick, that's in his
You
room.
can't you can't deny that, right?
No, you can't deny that one. And his little brother saw it too, and he goes, "Now I believe in spirit." He's like, "Now I can't argue
And
that
and
one."
and men are very much like that.
Hmm.
Where women, we for some reason, well, I don't want to say for some reason. You see,
Hmm.
we go back to being hunters and gatherers.
Yeah.
Women had to feel the energy around them because
Hmm.
they were looking after the children as the guys were out hunting, right?
Yeah.
And so they had to build that awareness, that intuition up to be able to
Yeah.
get kids out of the situation, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why a lot of women, there's more women intuitives than there is men, but
Mhm.
everybody on this earth has it,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
right?
I can
And
feel what people are feeling. I know
yeah,
what they're thinking a lot of the
super,
time.
super, yeah. So you're building up that sensitivity that you
Hmm.
can't have without it, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm asking him this is what I've gotten is that I'm trying to bring him in more closer to because she was the last girlfriend he had, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a good one. They had lots of fun. Does
They
that
did.
make sense?
Yeah, they had fun.
Right? I
Hmm.
feel like I don't know why I want to say this to you, but I feel like he's telling me I felt like a man with her.
Mm.
Does that make any sense for you?
He took care of her.
Yeah. So he had that, sense of, all
He
right.
paid the bills and she went to school. So She was very girly in a way as well as tomboy. She's very skinny. She must weigh like 90 pounds.
Yeah.
Tiny little thing fighting forest fires.
But that's her advantage in fighting forest fires because if it
Quick.
turns, she'll be quick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he was depressed, right?
Yeah.
Because and he was a good size young man, right?
He was 230 pounds.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like he was heavy, right? He was
He's
good
big.
structure, right?
Yeah.
Like nice shoulders on him,
Broad shoulders. Yeah.
right? He wasn't like heavy for his weight was right for his size. That's what I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah. His dad
Okay.
weighed 220 pounds too.
Yeah,
So
just that good solid because he's I feel like he's just, in one hand, he's sorry, another hand, he's ashamed of that depression that took him,
yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
he's sitting there and he's got his head down, so he's bringing my awareness to that,
Yeah.
you know, but that was part of his path, if you don't mind me saying so,
That's another thing I'm learning.
right? Is that,
That he wrote it into his path.
yeah, yeah.
He wrote it. Yeah.
He was a really kind, gentle young man, though.
He was. That's why my mom's struggling so hard with it.
You see, the thing is sometimes that's the ones that leave us is the ones that are so sensitive
Mm-hmm.
because this world is harsh and it's dense, right? For such as
Yeah.
because he was really kind, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Right.
Beautiful
So
young man he was. Yeah.
yeah, I can see that. What's the reference to Italy? Is somebody going over to Europe? You
No,
just you
he,
just showed me the boot. It's only one country that's the boot. You're not aware of that?
no, my best friend was Italian. A lot of our friends are Italian, but that's all I can think
Is
of.
your best friend still here though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
Okay.
talk to each other though,
Oh, okay. So
we,
why is that?
because when I was going through divorce, I was drinking a lot and calling her, to, talk about what was going on. It aggravated her because I was drunk and whatnot. So she told me to get sober. She said a few things that were cruel. And I realize now that she was also going through some difficulties with her
Okay.
job and her marriage. And she had challenges and depression too. So she wasn't able to really help me, but we cut that off. I still love her and I always will, but I don't talk to her
Okay.
anymore.
Well, if that's the only reference to Italy,
Yeah.
th- then I would say that maybe give her a call. I'm going to say this to you.
Hmm.
Sometimes our friends who are the harshest on us
Yeah,
are actually our best friends
I know.
because they love us enough to be harsh.
Yeah,
And you might have needed that push at that time in your life.
probably.
The only other meaning that could happen, because he actually showed me the boot, is somebody's going to go to Italy
Hmm.
or Europe, right? But he gave me the boot, so I want to say Italy,
Yeah.
right? Because you see, the thing is that when you're learning to pick up messages,
Hmm.
it's about the first thing you see,
Yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
if I quickly got, I have to tell you it because
Yeah.
it might make sense later on. So
Hmm.
if picking up messages with your son, what's the first thing you get, right?
Hmm.
So I would say that there's still quite a tornado going on in the family right now,
Hmm.
right? Because he's given me that tornado. It's not as big as it was, but
Yeah.
he's given me that little, well, you've seen those little tornadoes that go
Yeah.
across the land.
Yeah.
not the big ones, those whirly. So he's giving me that. So he's saying there's still
Yeah.
issues that need to be dealt with, right?
Hmm.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
So that is how it works, right?
Hmm.
And we can misinterpret them,
Yeah.
but if we say them just as we see them,
Hmm.
write them down, don't put any impression on it or interpretation,
Yeah.
that's the best way to do it. Because I
Hmm.
do feel like he's talking to you a lot. Is there a picture in your house that gets kind of you know how you hang a picture nice and straight and then poof, it kind of
Yeah, he moves things. He moves pictures.
okay, because I was gonna say show me a picture on your wall that he moves.
The one in
Right.
the bathroom, he moved, and his own picture on the fireplace.
Yeah.
He
My
moved.
my mom would say to me, straighten the picture, we have visitors.
Yeah. I do straighten it, but I notice that when he does that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was always my mom. Okay. Um, reference to either Squamish. Have you been to Squamish? Was he in Squamish at all?
What is that? Squam.
Squamish is a town um so you know where Whistler is? Do you know anything about BC?
A little bit.
Okay, Whistler's our ski town
Right.
and you drive up past you're driving up along the House Sound inlet to
Mm-hmm.
get to Whistler and there's a town called Squamish. It's
Right.
got a pulp mill on it.
Right. He
Oh,
liked to snowboard.
okay, so he's driving me up to okay, he's driving me up to Whistler then. So that would make sense, right? But
Yeah.
there isn't there Sun Peaks. So I no, I feel like no, I'm not gonna he's showing me Squamish. So I feel like he's been to Squamish.
Hmm.
So are you planning to come to BC at all?
Eventually, yes.
Okay, put Squamish down as one of your sites to see, because that may be what he's doing,
Hmm.
right? He's given me a few. Um,
They're mountain climbing. Yeah, I got pictures of them
okay,
there.
okay. So yeah, mountain climbing, the big chief.
That
Uh,
bridge thing that goes across. They
yeah,
walk across that. I have pictures of her and him
yeah, okay.
on
So
that.
sh- just just a love of the outdoors, eh?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I had a dream about him where he was with his dad
Hmm.
in Brazil skateboarding, but he was about 14 or 15 years old. And in the dream, he said, "Sorry, Mom, I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm busy having fun with Dad." In the mountains, and he had this crazy look on his face.
Oh, oh my goodness gracious. Because
Hmm.
that's the very first thing he said, in the mountains.
Yeah, with his
I
dad.
got it, I got it written here. So that's his way of confirming to
Yeah.
you that your dream was he was there, because that
Yeah.
in the mountains is the very first thing he said to me. I'm in the mountains,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And I thought, well, that's because you're living in BC. So
Yeah.
you see how a medium can miss something of importance, but that's really big. That's really important
Hmm.
because you dreamt it. So that tells me, and it's the easiest way for him to come through
Yeah.
is in dream time, especially between the hours of 3 and 4,
Hmm.
because that's the witching hour. That's when they say the veil is the weakest,
Down.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like he's wanting it when you come, he's wanting you to to go and see the different sites as well.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will with his little brother when his little brother maybe gets a little bit older. He's 9 right now.
Yeah.
Maybe when
Yeah.
he's 12 or 13, or, we'll go and we'll do those things for sure.
Yeah. So now you're learning about the Akashic records. I
Mhm.
feel like what happens in the spirit world when they want you to learn something,
Mhm.
um, they will they will, start dropping the information there.
Yeah,
So
they
I
do.
feel like you got that right.
Hmm.
There's also a lady who she tragically lost her two sons in a car accident, and she's a lady from India. She's now passed on, but she's got some books.
Mm.
Um, and she would do automatic writing. Are you doing any of that?
I've heard of that and I've tried it.
And nothing.
It didn't, like I don't do it enough yet
Resonant,
for,
yeah.
for him to really get a chance or the spirit guide
Well,
to get a
and
chance.
the thing is that what you do is you just start, you could write um whatever comes to the top of your head. My shoes are blue.
Right.
I like blue shoes. I've always worn blue shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm stepping on the grass with my blue shoes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
walking across, and then all suddenly your writing becomes somebody else's writing. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just allow. The two things that you must do is allow and trust
Hmm.
whenever working with the spirit world.
Yeah.
So you just got confirmation
Mm-hmm.
about your dream
Yeah.
because he gave me the very first thing he gave me was in the mountains.
Yeah.
But then me second guessing myself, knowing that you have already told me that he was in the mountains of BC,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, that's me get it. So I got in the way of myself, right?
Yeah.
So he's a very clever young man.
He is. He
I'm very,
impresses me. The thing with the all that activity, that was all in one day, where she sent me the video of him coming into the room, sitting down, watching her and the baby, to the guitar pick flying off the guitar. First, the string was moving on the guitar.
yeah.
We're watching the string as he's recording, and then all of a sudden it just goes, and the guitar pick goes flying off. The next day, my battery was dead in the truck, and it hadn't died in a long time. About 2 or 3 months ago, my truck kept dying, the battery kept dying. So I replaced it with a brand new battery. And he was active at the time too. And it died again with a brand new battery in it. So I took it back to the shop. They were starting to think I was crazy. And they said, "Is your house haunted?" I didn't say anything. I didn't say my son just died. I didn't want to scare them or anything, but I said, "I don't know." And he's like, "Well, are you leaving the door open?" No, I'm not leaving the door open at all. So they do another test and they say one of the cells is bad in the new battery we gave you. So they put in another brand new battery. And I just noticed after all that activity, my truck was dead
So what
again.
it's funny that you should have asked him why he would ask such a question.
About the house
Is your
being
house hot? Yeah.
Yeah, they shocked me when they said that. It was like, oh,
Because
my eyes opened right up. Like, yeah.
because the thing is that if you ever go to see a medium that can bring forth
Mm-hmm.
spirit,
Mm-hmm.
I one of my teachers, Eileen Davies, she has three guides that come forward, and she's a sweet English lady, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And she'll bring Ula is one of her guides, and Ula's a Southern Black lady, and you hear this English woman, her voice changes into a Southern Black woman, and you can almost see her face overshadowed,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like a Black woman sitting in front of you.
Right.
Now, it takes so much energy for the spirit world to do that,
Yeah.
that they're drawing on our energy every time I'm sitting. I miss the other two spirits. I only get the one. So
Right.
they're drawing that energy. So what could also be happening is when your son is trying to really
Mm-hmm.
get, get you to notice him,
Yeah.
he's drawing on the energy of that battery
Mm-hmm.
because we're like batteries, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Have you been told that before?
No, my partner, he's a little bit. empathetic. He does have, I'll call it spidey senses,
Mhm.
because he can hear Caden sometimes say things. And at that particular time when the battery kept dying, um, Caden was sending him images of a battery. And I said,
Ah,
well, I think he's trying to tell us that
battery. You didn't
he's,
want to
he's
get in law.
he's using the battery. And then my partner heard his dad say to Caden, you need to stop doing that. And I said out loud, no, he doesn't need to stop doing that. He can do that. That's fine. As long as I know he's doing it, because I'll go crazy.
Yeah,
So going to the
yeah.
mechanic all the time. I said, just space it out, okay? Space it out. So I'm
So
not,
he's trying, yeah, he's using the energy because a
yeah,
lot of times you'll see electricity flickering and,
yeah,
it's because they're really trying to get through. But
yeah.
I would say to you though, check in on both those ladies because that was an urgency for him.
Yeah, I felt like
Trying,
he's being that active. He must have something
yeah.
want
So,
to say.
um, yeah. And, sending your son over to your grandma
Yeah.
might be the best thing for her
Oh yeah. It's
because
summertime, right? So,
because she sees him,
hmm, yeah,
and sometimes to bring somebody out of depression,
yeah,
um, they need to see the one that's missing them.
yes, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what else did he? And did he like being on the water?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And in Ontario, did you ever take him down to one of the lakes and there was a dock?
Yeah, I was just watching him jump off of the pier on his girlfriend's page. I just watched it a few times.
Okay, so it wasn't, yeah, okay, that's what I'm picking up then. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so he's watching you watch that,
That's hilarious.
right?
Yeah,
Because he's given it to me. And now he liked to drink every once in a while.
he
Was
drank
it
too
here?
much. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like I see him, he was quite a handsome young man
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and a big, big smile with nice white teeth,
Yeah.
right? I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I'm seeing him stand in the door as a drink in his hand.
Yes.
It's a great big white smile.
Yeah, he always had a drink in his hand.
Okay. And I also feel summer cough.
Oh yeah, allergies
Ah,
or dry
yeah.
air.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I I feel like this girl that you don't know her that well, right?
Sarah?
Yeah, the one in BC.
Yeah, I don't know her that well.
I feel like he may have if he had stayed, he may have married her.
He may have, but he chose the alcohol over
Mhm.
her.
But what I feel like he's showing me right now in my head,
Mm-hmm.
if he had made the right choice, because there he's standing in the door with the big smile and the drink, the
Yeah.
beer can.
Yeah.
Um, and then he shows me her in a wedding dress and
Yeah.
him being very happy. So he realizes he made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
So if you could pass that on to her, I think that would be good
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like there was quite a love there.
Yeah.
Not because you said he has another girlfriend in Ontario, right?
His very first girlfriend, which
Yeah.
was really
And
important to him.
not that he's not taking anything away from her,
Mm-hmm.
but I almost want to say he finally kind of almost moved on from her.
Yeah.
Does that make sense with this girl?
Yeah. Almost.
Sorry.
No
Um,
worries. Almost, but he didn't quite make it. So,
yeah, didn't quite. So I really feel like the urgency is that. And who plays the guitar?
My dad plays it mostly. Matthew can play it a little bit, my partner, but not a lot. So it's mostly my dad. Oh, his friend Brady plays the guitar a lot.
And where's his friend now?
In BC, he found Caden dead. His best friend
Okay,
Brady.
then there's a direct correlation to somebody who plays the guitar and him whipping that out.
Hmm.
I would also check on his friend, okay?
Brady, yeah, I know that Brady is,
Especially if Brady found
yeah, found the dead
found
body. Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
That that's tough, right?
Yeah. Weren't expecting that. None of us were expecting that. I kind of had a bad feeling, but I was brushing it off like you're just being paranoid. He's fine. So none of us were expecting that. But
Keep getting
Brady's in a band and drinking, and he's probably doing drugs and stuff too. So
and then that experience on top of it all can really send
yeah,
him spiraling. So
yeah,
maybe if you could give him a call. It's like, did he like going over to Vancouver Island, do you know?
yep. I have
'Cause-
video of him picking up jellyfish out of
Oh,
there. Yeah. Going,
yeah.
ew, look at how gross this is. Oh my God. He picks it right up.
Because I'm on my beach and
Hmm.
I'm looking right over at Vancouver Island, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like he might have really liked it there as well.
Yeah, he
Does that
did.
make sense?
The
And
ocean.
yeah, because I also keep getting whale tails.
He has videos of orcas swimming around.
Yeah, so he's just given me because he you see, and this is another thing you must learn, okay?
Hmm.
If you get something once, okay,
Yeah.
and you don't address it.
Hmm.
Second time, okay.
Yeah.
Third time, you have to address it, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So three times the whale tails. So that means, he's showing me the water, looking over Vancouver Island, and then
Hmm.
he's showing me the whale tails.
Hmm.
So, this young man was totally
Yeah.
outdoorsman.
Yeah.
Did he like to go to concerts?
Yeah.
Because the next thing I see is concert.
Him and his dad were like that with concerts. So right
Yeah.
after he died, I was getting music coming in, a lot of Caden's music and his dad's music, and then
Yeah.
reference to these bands that were similar coming into Toronto, just
Right.
automatically coming into my phone or my feed or whatever. So I bought the ticket. I don't know why I did. I just did. I bought the ticket to the concert.
And did you go?
It's in December, but yeah, I will be
Yeah.
going
So
to.
then he wants you to go.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
will. I went to Teresa Caputo too, and I didn't even want to go to that, and I went anyways.
And how was she?
Pretty good, but she didn't talk to me, right? So
Yeah.
you get a little
Oh,
disappointed when they don't
I know. My
address
sister,
you.
my sister and I were in this in one of her shows, and we were way back in the
Yeah,
nosebleeds. Her son had bought her a ticket, and I had just happened to come up and,
right.
oh, here, Auntie, you get to go with my sister.
Hmm.
And there was a young man who I said to my sister, she's gonna go up in the bleachers there. She's not
Hmm.
gonna go up in the bleachers with those heels. I said, yes, she is. I'm gonna talk to this man, and he's not gonna be able to talk because if he talks, he's gonna cry, he's gonna break down. She's gonna say something to him.
Yeah,
So sure enough, she walks up and they're making sure she's not falling back in those big stilettos of
yeah,
hers. And
yeah.
she walks up to this man, and the first thing she says, did you actually take a piece of the car? And he couldn't talk. You could, the screen, right? And my sister said, you're a freak, Sandra. And I said, no, that's how it works.
Hmm.
So if you're picking up something, somebody else around you could be picking it up too.
Right.
right? So he can, like, if your husband is saying,
Hmm.
I'm getting this, this, and this, and then he could be trying to talk to you
Yeah.
tandemly, right? Because I obviously got that person because I saw it before it happened, what was going to happen, right? So know that as well. But she is I think she's very good. A lot of people say, "Oh no, it's all just hype." No, she knows what she's doing.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it would have been good for you to get a message, right?
Of course. I saw
Yeah.
Matt Frazier too. And I
And
met him.
yeah, and how was that for you?
It's just wild because you hear them in the video and he's very loud and he almost seems like he's gay, right? But he's not. And then you meet him in person and he's that same loud person and you're like, "Oh my God, he's real." I don't know what it is about that, but when you see
Yeah.
them on screen, you don't believe it's real until you're right in front of them.
Well, and also too is what's happening for you is when you're right in front of them,
Hmm.
you're feeling the energy that
True.
they've built up, they've worked with for a long time because you are
Yeah.
learning about this. For some reason, all this learning, you will put to good use in some way, right? I don't know if you want to be a reader but you may use it to benefit in some way.
Hmm.
What's the gun about?
The what?
The gun? Did he shoot?
He loves guns. Yeah, I have his whole collection
Okay.
downstairs. Not real guns. The whatever you call them, BB guns. But they
Yeah.
look real and they could kill animals, but not humans. They'll give us a big bruise.
Yeah. So he just showed me gun. Does anybody ever use the guns?
No, but I will. I plan
Okay.
to.
Just make sure it feels like the trigger on one of them is sticky or something's not right with one of the triggers, okay?
Right.
Because he's showing me that. So if you're planning to use it, right?
Yeah.
Um,
With Logan, probably his brother. Like Logan will get all that stuff when he's older,
yeah, yeah, but just
all
make
his
sure
knives and everything.
yeah, because even though it's a BB gun, it has to be treated the same as any other gun. So it
Yeah.
has to be oiled and cleaned and
Yeah.
stuff like that, okay?
Yeah.
Because he's showing me that something's sticky on one of them.
Hmm.
Um, and you haven't been doing anything really for yourself, right?
Just the spiritual learning,
But
really.
like, do you need to buy new clothes?
Always,
Because
always need new
he's
clothes.
showing me your hangers and they're empty,
Yeah, they're all like old, really old, raggedy clothes that I use for fishing and stuff.
right? So I feel like he was wanting you to go do something good, like shop, buy something new
Mm-hmm.
for yourself, something that makes you feel good. Because usually that's what the hanger means when I see clothes hanger.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay, mom, we're talking about everybody else but you,
True.
right? And
Yeah.
so I feel like he's wanting you to do something good. Like all of this is really good. Learning about it, learning how you can speak with him is really good
Hmm.
because it's only going to be a benefit to you and the ones that you love.
Yeah.
But you also have to do stuff that's, you know, um, grounded on this earth too.
Yeah.
So don't forget about that, right? So
Yeah.
is there anybody who's flying towards you or anybody taking a plane trip? Because I feel like I have a man and a woman.
Flying
But
towards me. I'm not sure about that one.
either you don't know of anybody who might be taking a trip on a plane.
Uh, no. No one said anything.
Okay. Um, because I do you have any women that are kind of a little bit boisterous in your family?
What do you mean by boisterous?
Oh, might be a little loud or might be a little joking or have a character.
My mom is loud. She's
Oh,
very
is she?
loud. Yeah.
Is she okay? And is she with anybody? With does she her husband or anything like that?
Yeah, my dad. Yeah. they're
Uh,
together.
Are they going on a trip?
They probably talk about it.
Okay, you tell her that he's telling her to go on the trip.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever trip, maybe that's the one we were talking earlier about the boot. I
It,
don't know if
yeah.
she'd go to Europe, but I see them on a plane.
They should
And
because
I see
they're in
that
their
this is,
70s
yeah,
and
and this is a very good trip for her in particular, because she's the one standing out. Okay.
Mhm.
Not that the grandfather doesn't care or, you
Yeah.
know, it's just her. She needs it more than he does.
Yeah.
Okay, it might change things for her because I again he's just showing me her huddled up. Did he, I know this is the strangest thing, but did he have like a teddy bear or something?
He had
Stuffed animal?
a little doggy that
Stuffed animal?
a stuffed animal that was tie-dye that he could not live without right up until he was probably 4 or 5 years old. And one time it went missing. We couldn't find it. He lost it. I had to look everywhere to find another one because he would not sleep without his doggy at
Yeah,
all. And it was one of those TY stuffies. They're really soft.
yeah, yeah,
I
I know
bought
those.
one for his very first girlfriend's son, Teddy. I bought him the dog. And in that video where he comes in and sits down in her house, he's sitting beside that stuffed
But
dog.
okay, so he just placed himself because he gave me
Yeah,
the stuffy, and I'm like, what's this stuffy about, right? Like, is it a dog? Is it a teddy bear? What is it?
the dog.
So, okay, all
Yeah,
right. So
that meant a
giving me
lot to
that.
him,
So
that
he
dog.
was definitely there then,
Hmm.
right? Because he's trying to, they have to use what's in my head and try to get me to get there for them.
You know, it was weird. I changed the lighting on it with the camera adjustments to darker because you could see more when there's contrast.
Yeah.
And I could see a dark circle in the window and two rays of light coming out of that dark circle. He was sitting on this bench, and I swear to God, I could see through the wall of the house in this picture. I could see the other house on the other side of the wall. Like, does anyone see that? You can see right through the wall. There's the windows on the other
Yeah,
house.
you'll have to show me the picture.
Yeah,
Because that would be the portal.
exactly. But no one around me knows much about that yet. I do from
Yeah,
watching the
that's
near-death
definitely a
experience.
portal for him to come through. Yeah.
Ah, and it looked like there was somebody behind him, like a spirit guide or a fairy or something right behind him
Yep.
that
Somebody
maybe
opening the
brought him
gate for
in.
him. Yeah. Somebody opening the gate that was an older soul, right?
Yeah.
That would have done that. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Now, so your dad and mom are still here, right?
Yeah, but they're old. They're
Yeah. No, no, I don't. I don't like to talk about passings and because God
mhm,
forbid you're wrong, right?
yeah.
Put somebody in fear.
Yeah.
Uh, but do you have like your grandfather that's passed?
Yeah.
And was he a thinner man?
Yeah.
I don't know how tall he is, but I definitely feel like there's a man here as well
Mhm,
that's a thinner man, and he feels like he would be a grandfather, you
mhm.
know? Um, and would he be like a more quiet man,
Mhm. Grandpa
right?
Dave. Yeah.
Right. I feel like he's over there helping your son,
Right.
right? I feel like he's there. Smart man,
Yeah.
and if he had something to say, he would say it, but otherwise more quiet.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. And thinner in stature for sure, right?
Yeah. He loved riding bicycles, so he was very thin and fit.
Is yeah, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. Um, but do you know if he also, I don't know, canoed or kayaked or anything like that?
Probably.
Okay, just another soul that loved the outdoors.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that makes sense to me because I feel like he's also with your boy as well.
He used to take my dad to the trailer that we're at now because my dad came to see our trailer and he's like, this is really familiar. Like, I've been here before. I've seen those swans before. And then he remembered, oh, my dad used to bring me here a long, long time ago.
Isn't
That's
that
why I say,
interesting? Okay, so he's hanging around then, so that makes sense.
so they would have canoed and kayaked and stuff in there probably.
Yeah, okay. So that's yeah, all right. And do you ever see like streaks of light?
Yeah, all the time. We got
Because
pictures, tons of
he's
pictures.
giving me streaks of light.
Yeah,
I'm like, what? Why are you showing me streaks of light? You know?
yeah,
But again, if he's showing me and you got tons of pictures, just all the evidence, there's somebody who really needs to know
yeah,
he is still alive.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
There's somebody who's still having trouble with that concept of we do not pass when we leave our earthly bodies, right?
Mm.
So somebody still needs 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 to know that, right?
Like confirmation, like more proof.
Yeah,
I think it's my mom
right.
because she's not seeming to get it. She's still blaming his boss for his death. And she's not. I send her the videos of the near-death experiences, and I hope she watches, but it doesn't look like she is
So why is she blaming his boss?
because his boss made him work 10 hours a day and would call him in on weekends and stuff too, and used to call him Mr. Reliable. Caden was Mr. Reliable. Um, the reason Caden died was, first of all, the alcoholism, but he had to take painkillers for a couple of accidents he had. He had a 300-pound rock fall on his feet when he was hiking. He had steel toe boots on, but regardless, he still took
Oh,
the,
you can't. Yeah, 300 rock. It's steel and
yeah,
rock. Yeah, no.
he took naproxen and Tramacets I found in his apartment. He had a workplace injury as well, where something flew down and hit him in the chest, and he had to take painkillers. And you can't mix painkillers with alcohol. It accelerates
Yeah,
the cirrhosis of the liver, which is why he died so young. So my mom blames the boss. I said, Mom, I think he took the painkillers because the 300-pound rock fell on his foot when he was hiking, just trying to get her to stop that negative energy towards his boss because his boss was young too, like learning too
yeah.
these things.
And it's not uncommon for that to happen in BC. Like a
Yeah,
lot that happens.
the
Um,
boulders. Yeah.
yeah. Now, the thing is about mom is that she needs in her mind,
Hmm.
she doesn't want to believe that your son would have, contributed to his passing.
Exactly.
And
Because he was
so
perfect.
that's the struggle she's having, right?
Yeah.
And you can't change her mind. You
No.
just have to let her come to it. Because right now, her
Hmm.
heart and her mind can't handle that thought,
No, it can't. She's in a different world.
right?
She's not picking up on the messages that he's sending her too. And he does. He sends her, she found a feather in her bed that came out of
Mhm.
absolutely nowhere. I said, do you have a feather pillow? She's like, no, I don't have a feather pillow. She took a
Hey,
picture.
can you
Hmm.
give me just one quick minute?
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
right back here.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be back too.
Okay.
That weird noise. Hmm.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
It's just now that I've gotten older, if I have to go to the washroom, it's like
Well,
immediate.
me too. Yeah.
So I apologize. Um, so the other thing is, do you hear bells sometimes?
My mom and my brother heard the doorbell yesterday and nobody
Okay.
was there.
Yeah, he's ringing bells. Because I
Yeah.
don't know if you heard the bell when we were talking, but I thought I heard the bell on your side of the.
I just heard something now and I just said, what the heck was that?
Okay.
It was
So
towards
I,
my bed. I'm like, what was that noise?
yeah, to me it sounded like a bell. So
Hmm.
it felt like it was on your side, not
Yeah.
my side. But I do feel that you're going to be coming to BC. I don't know when that will happen
Yeah.
because he's taking me on the Lionsgate Bridge, and I
Okay.
feel like I'm coming home,
Hmm.
but it could be on my way up to Squamish, right? So
Right.
if you went from the airport, you would go probably past, you would ride on the Lionsgate Bridge to get up to Squamish, right?
Hmm.
Or to get to Horseshoe Bay to, I feel like like it's like, Mom, I wish you could see what I saw.
Oh, yeah.
I wish you could experience what I seen, you know. So
Yeah.
I feel like you need to,
Hmm.
and you will,
Yeah.
you know, see where he was really happy. Do you know if there's a cove, or like, I want to say a cove or a beach that he would go to?
Uh, there's a lake in Kelowna
Okay.
he would always go to.
Yeah, there's the one huge lake there,
Yeah, the main one.
Kelowna.
Looks like a river, but it's a lake.
Yeah, it's
Linear.
yeah. Okay, but this is more like a cove, like I'm on the ocean.
Well, he
Okay.
went to Vancouver. I don't know how many times. I have a picture of him and Sarah on surfboards. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So if they're on surfboards, he might have been in Long Beach, on the island.
Right.
Because
I
that's where
don't know where he was. Hmm.
that's where the water is for surfing out that way. So I
Right.
feel like I feel like I feel like he's telling you, maybe even take your mom.
Hmm. If I can get her to
Uh,
go.
yeah, but it's important for her to take a trip, whatever that trip may be, okay?
She
'Cause
will say it's not the same when Caden's not there. She already said it.
that's true, but tell her that Caden is there, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
If he's ringing her doorbells, and I'm getting that,
Hmm.
he's there, right? So
Yeah.
he wants to live through her, tell her,
Hmm.
and her experiences and stuff like that. Getting lots of sun, eh?
Yes.
Are you burnt?
Very burnt.
Yeah. Aloe vera. Do you have an aloe vera plant?
Yeah. It's really bad on this one leg. It almost looks purple. Hurts right
Okay.
now.
So get your aloe vera plant,
Hmm.
cut, cut it off, put it in the fridge
Yeah.
or the freezer, right? Open it
Hmm.
up, put it on there, and then put some honey on it.
Okay.
If it's looking like that, because I'm feeling like you need,
It's purple.
yeah, if it's purple there, yeah. So do that, and then the honey. I had a burn that came off my arm about that much. It
Hmm.
was very bad. Honey and aloe vera took care of it, and don't even have a scar.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like he just really loves talking to you.
He does.
You know, I feel that
Probably because I'm open to it.
yeah.
I think
And
he's having fun. Like I could just see him flicking the guitar pick off of there and laughing. Oh, and the other thing too is that the dog saw him before he did that.
yeah, animals will feel the energy.
I have
Animals
a
will
picture
feel
of
the
her.
energy.
She's staring at the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, because she's like,
What the
I
heck is
can see
that?
that. And cats are even more so.
Right.
And Spirit, when my cat was young and Spirit would come in the room, my cat would jump like 6 feet and try to catch its tail. It was the funniest thing. People would be in the reading room and they're like, what is your cat doing? "Oh, he feels the energy right now. He
That's
doesn't know
so
what to do with
hilarious.
himself."
We just
Right.
got a kitten and we called him Kenai because Caden liked the movie Brother Bear and he was gonna name his sons either Kenai or Coda. So we got this little kitten. We called him Kenai. And he liked Johnny Cash, so we called him Kenai Cash for when he's bad. We got to use both names.
Yeah.
But we swear that Caden was playing with him the other day because Logan comes in my room. He goes, Mom, he and I just jumped down beside the bed in the wall and there's nothing there. And then he's like chasing things on my bed, but there's nothing there, as if he's chasing somebody's finger or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cats are,
I said,
that's why the witches had them, right?
right, true,
There was two
true.
reasons.
Ah,
Um, Witches would because the cats could tell them ahead of time if Spirit was around, but
right.
also they took care of their mice problem.
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
witches never got what was the disease back then? Uh the one with that the you get from the flea bites,
I don't know, but I know that mice
the
carry.
plague.
Oh, right.
And they couldn't figure out why. But
Mm-hmm.
now science has realized that, oh, these women that were called witches, it was because the cats took care of the plague, the animals that had the plague around them, so that's why they didn't get it. So
Yeah.
very interesting. But one very, very good reason was because they could see Spirit and let them know what was going on ahead of time.
Yeah.
Eagle,
Mm-hmm.
eagle with a fish in its mouth, so he liked fishing as well.
Oh, yeah.
Salmon fishing,
Yeah.
right? So the eagles, so higher knowledge, I feel like a lot more higher knowledge is coming to you
Yeah.
because yeah, no, it didn't matter whether it was the ocean or the lake or in the mountains or you
Yeah.
know, it
Anything nature.
nature was everything to him,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was a beautiful picture you sent me.
Right. Yeah.
A really good eye, right? So
Yeah.
you putting any of his work up on your wall?
Mm-hmm. That picture's
Yeah,
on my wall. Yeah.
yeah. Because fantastic. All
Yeah.
right. So
I
did
wanted
you get
to go ahead.
did you get to see the Northern Lights?
Yeah, I did.
When did you just see them? Did you just see them?
Yeah, I got pictures of him.
Okay, because he's referring to the Northern Lights.
He liked that, did he?
Yeah, yeah. So any questions or
Yeah, I wanted to know if his dad was around, if you can feel his dad. I know you've never connected to his dad,
well,
but they should be together. Usually
yeah,
they
no,
are.
he's definitely with another fellow that has his arm on his shoulder.
Hmm.
Did his dad, when he was a young boy, did his dad like to whisper in his ear?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Okay, so there's two things that it could be that I'm seeing is it could be a playful interaction with
Hmm.
his dad and him,
Hmm.
or ask your son if he feels like anybody whispers in his ear.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm seeing a young boy. And did his dad teach him how to drive
No. His dad passed away
before
when,
he was driving?
yeah,
Okay,
Kate was 13 or 14 years old.
so who taught him how to drive?
I don't know. He wouldn't let me do it. Because he had to do everything on his own. He was that type of person.
Okay, is
And he
he's
pretty
there's a
much got his license in BC, so I don't know.
okay,
Oh,
so
his landlord maybe.
okay, so he's making a reference to that. Did he like to drive fast though, or did his dad?
Probably Caden more
Okay,
so.
okay. Did his dad uh live in the fast lane?
Too fast. Yeah.
Too fast. Okay. So I feel like that's the reference to the father because I'm feeling like, no, that's not like I know Caden lived too fast. I probably drove a little fast, but
Yeah.
this doesn't feel like him. The living in the fast lane feels like another person. So that I feel like whose birthday's coming up?
Cadence, July 27th.
Okay. So he's making a reference to his own birthday.
I'm gonna make a birthday
He,
cake
wa-
for him.
he was just gonna say because he gave me a cake, he wants a cake.
I have it all ready to go. I've got his candles. I've got
Yeah, he's got candles all around it. Is it a round cake you're making?
I don't know if I'll make it round or not. I have like
Okay,
a rectangular pan. I usually make it homemade and I always made him homemade cakes that he liked when
okay.
he was
All
younger.
right, because he showed me. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's rectangular, that
Yeah,
it's just a round cake that, but
showing the cake.
he had all the candles on it, so that was good. But I do feel like his father's with him because of the reference to the fast lane, because I'm
Mhm.
wanting him to give me something that indicates yes, it would be him. I feel that, I've got a man who's got his arm around his son,
Mhm.
and I don't know if your boy,
Mhm.
your young boy, would that be not the same? Would that be the same father or no?
No,
No.
different father.
Okay.
Yeah.
But ask him if he ever hears a whisper in his ear, because that could be Caden just jumping in to make sure that I got that information out to you, right?
Mhm.
Um,
I wanted
would it
to,
be fair to say that Caden would have liked to have spent more time with his father when he was younger?
yeah, because his father never came home from Brazil.
Okay. So what he's saying now is his father is with him because he's spending the time with him now,
Yeah, for sure
right? So
he is.
there you got your answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his father and I were pretty close. I met his father when I was 16 years old, until the age of 24 when we broke up. And Caden was just born when we broke up. He was only a year old. But it was due to the circumstances of moving to Brazil and all the beautiful women in Brazil. His father's eye went in a different direction, and I ended
Yeah.
up going in a different direction. But I still love the man. And
Yeah.
I wondered, you always wonder who your soulmate is, right?
Mhm.
I still feel
I
very
think,
connected to him.
yeah, I think I believe that we have more than one soulmate. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe that, like, if you feel that connection with that person,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes soulmates are the hardest in this lifetime
Mm-hmm.
because not necessarily are you meant to be on the same path.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I've
Um,
heard that before. Yeah.
and I feel like I don't know why I want to say it this way. There was a lot of spilt milk or something in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So or I don't even want to say milk, I want to say ink.
Pink.
Yeah. So was there a lot of um back and forth writing or courts or something like that with him?
Mm, that was Logan's father, not Caden's father. No, it was,
But Logan's father's still around, right?
yeah, he's still around.
Okay. So I don't know why I want to say it, but I got to say it the way I got it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What would spilt milk mean or spilt ink?
When a lot of things that go wrong.
Right.
So, you know how the spilt milk, it it's stuff that the milk got spilt, it's unusable now, right?
Right.
And there's no sense pondering over the spilt milk.
Right.
So, and when you say uh uh spilt ink, it's like, well, maybe it's because he didn't write or he didn't keep in contact. Do you
No,
see
he
what I mean?
didn't. Yeah.
Right? And it could be his way of saying I shouldn't have spilt the ink. He
Right.
should have stayed in contact, right?
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, because I want to use the word ink, so I have to go there, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Hmm. Is there any connection to the army, or not army, navy, or big boats with him?
His father was in cadets.
Oh, there you go. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's navy, right? Cadets?
I don't know
I
which
think it
one
is.
it is, but he's got buddies that are still alive here that they're not in the army, but they're prison guards. They went through all that training.
Right.
And I used to talk to them on a regular basis. When I was going through divorce,
Mm-hmm.
I talked to a lot of Dan's friends, Caden's dad's friends, because we used to always hang out with them constantly.
Yeah.
Facebook, you have access to everybody. So I started reaching out to them and I spoke to Darcy a lot,
Yeah. Okay.
which was one of his cadet buddies.
Okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm. And did he ever hurt one of his hands?
He hurt his elbow falling on ice. He had
His
gout.
elbow.
Yeah. He fell on ice. He was carrying a beer case into the vehicle and he slipped and he landed on his elbow and forever had gout in that elbow after that. And he was young when this was going on. He was only like 23 years old, same age as Caden. Also a drinker. And
Mm-hmm.
um,
It's almost like Caden kind of followed in his dad's
he did.
footsteps. Okay.
He did, and it shocked me all to hell because I thought more so he'd follow mine and my dad, my side of the family, but no, he went
Well,
on.
and I think it's because of the injuries,
Hmm. Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know.
Once you get into the medical
Yeah.
drugs,
And
then
mm,
that takes, if you have it naturally in your line,
yeah.
could be that I think that alcohol and stuff like that is allergies. Some
Hmm.
people can either drink it, some people can't.
Yeah. He could drink so much and he wouldn't
But
even puke.
yeah, but the thing is, what I mean is he could have been allergic to it, because sometimes people who are allergic to things
Hmm.
actually crave it.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Hmm.
So, all right. And how is the side of your body? Is there anything going on with the side of your body?
Used to be. Used to get pains there.
Do you know why?
I think because I drank too much and it was my liver swelling up. I don't have it now. I haven't had it for years.
Oh, good. You clean that up, eh?
Oh yeah, I cleaned
Mm-hmm.
that up, but I do have an ultrasound to check it because my doctor gave me a prescription for Contrave. It's like weight loss medication and it has naltrexone in it, which is hard on your liver. So I had to be honest with him and I said, listen, I used to drink and I used to drink a lot when I was going through my divorce. So is the naltrexone going to be a problem? Because Caden died from mixing these things, right?
Yeah.
And he said, probably not, because you're only taking half a pill, but we'll check. We'll check your liver and make sure because if your liver is damaged or partially damaged or whatever, you'll have to stop taking that. So
Okay.
that's the only reference to the right side I can.
Okay, so that could be why he's giving me that. Just check it, right?
Hmm.
Because it's just all suddenly it just shows me. It's like it's like an X-ray when they show it to me,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so it just shows me that that needs to be checked, that side. So
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, I'll pass it on.
Yeah.
I don't think he could thank you enough for being the mother that you are,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
You know? And I feel that, he's sorry he let you down, and other people,
Yeah.
right? Check on the fellow who plays guitar.
Hmm.
Check on the girl from BC and wake your mom up,
Yeah. I will do those
right?
things because he led me to you for a reason.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah,
thinking about it, right? And then it just dawned on me. He's trying to tell me something, so
yeah, yeah. And I feel like that's what his biggest concerns are. And the
Mhm.
reason I say the guy with the guitar, because he's flinging it off aggressively. Yes, he's letting you know he's in the room, like I'm here and fun,
Right.
but I still feel like there's a reference. And so when you say, yes, there is somebody who plays guitar and
Mm-hmm.
he's the one that found the body,
Yep.
then I'm gonna say to you, check on
Mm-hmm.
him too, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he would very much. Have you thought of actually driving to BC from Ontario?
I did think about it in the past.
Because he's showing me
Mm-hmm.
you driving through Saskatchewan, the wheat fields.
Cool.
So I feel like you may just take a road trip,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Yep.
Because I feel like he's saying, take the road trip, Mom.
My back hurts, Kaden, for driving that far.
Yeah, but
Like
you could,
sit and drive. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
But you could,
always he always tried to push me into doing these things. He'd always go, "Come on, Mom. Come on." Sometimes I can hear him saying that in my head
yeah.
when I'm,
And I feel like he wants you to see
yeah,
his journey.
yeah. I
Because
didn't get
even
to
though
see his journey.
even though it ended horribly,
Yeah,
it was beautiful for him too.
yeah. I know he
And
loved it there.
that's what he wants you to see,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I will.
So I hope this helped. Do
Yeah.
you feel it answered your questions?
Yes, it did. Yeah. So I'm not going to really say much to my mom other than just pull her out.
Yeah, and maybe use your boy to
Yeah.
your younger boy because
Take her out
she would,
more.
pardon me?
I'll take her out more to
Yeah,
do
but
things.
um she would love your youngest boy as much as she would love Caden.
Yep,
I
they're
feel
very
like
similar to each other.
I feel like he's good medicine for her,
Yeah.
you know?
They're like twin souls, the two of
Yeah.
them.
So he may be able to get her living life again.
I don't know what I'd do without Logan because he's a constant reminder of Caden when he gets off the bus and he's running up the sidewalk. I see Caden's face, in his brother's
Mhm.
face. So I've lost Caden, but I haven't, if that makes sense.
Well, for me, it makes huge sense, right?
Yeah, like I can't see him in the physical, but I
But you feel him,
certainly talk to him. I can call him through mediums or whatever. He sends me messages all the time. I
yeah,
dream about him.
and you can feel him too, right?
Yeah, yesterday he tapped me on the head twice here, and I'm going like this.
Pay attention, yeah.
He's going like this. I was watching a video about something that must have been important. He's like, "Listen, listen, Mom."
Yeah, and but I also think he's having fun with this,
He is. He's a bugger. He is a
you
bugger.
know? Yeah, I feel like he's having fun
Like
with
got
this,
magic powers now, like he's Spider-Man or something, like all these things he can do.
right? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he thinks it's
But
cool.
when you dream,
Yeah,
he gave it to me right at the beginning
yeah.
in the mountains, right?
I dreamt of him last night and he's like this and he's going, "No, you could not have changed anything. I would not have done it anyways."
That's right.
That's what he said. And I'm like, "I know, Kate, and you've told me that a few times." And he keeps repeating it. Like, um, I know that, but my mom hasn't gotten it quite yet.
Yeah,
So maybe he's trying to tell me to tell her,
that's
but
right. Because he's trying to wake her up.
go
He's
to her in her dreams, maybe. Or maybe he can't because she's so
blocked,
down.
right?
Mm.
Blocked.
He loved his Nana a lot.
Well, you can tell she loved him.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like a son for her, so more than a grandson. Yeah.
Well, I hope this helped.
It did, and I will send you those videos because part of collecting it all is to help others become more aware or
Yeah, and
to help others teach others to become more aware. Like Emily, his very first girlfriend, she's been feeling him a lot, telling her friends, and they make fun of her. They tease her and tell her she's crazy and all this stuff.
you know what you tell her?
Hmm.
Isn't it sad that they can't understand or feel the spirit world,
It is sad, but she's got
right?
that evidence now, and
Right? So,
she shows them, and then their faces go white, like in
well,
shock.
the thing is that you have to realize that it was taboo. For 300 years, women were burned at well, they
I
were
know.
drowned and then burned at a stake for doing just this, right?
Crazy, crazy.
And
Yeah,
so it is it's in everybody's mind that this is wrong or this is taboo. But it was a way to control because women had control at that time. They were midwives.
right,
They were doctors before there was ever doctors.
right.
They were counselors before there were ever counselors, you know?
True.
The women took care of the community. And in order for the Catholic Church or any
Mm-hmm.
organized place, they had to take the power away from the women. So of
Right.
course, any connection to the spirit world
Mm-hmm.
was there going to be their excuse.
Even my
You
mom
know?
brought that up that I should not be doing this. I should not be talking to him. I should let him rest in peace. I'm not leaving him
Well,
alone. Um,
you tell her he's not letting me rest.
yeah, I said, you know what, Mom, it's funny you're saying that because he told me to specifically ignore somebody that would say that.
Yeah.
He did. He said someone's going to try to talk you out of learning all this stuff, but ignore them
Is
because
your mom religious at all?
she's Christian.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. So
So
the
she
Christian church,
blocks it.
I actually got told sitting at the breakfast table, having a nice cup of tea and cereal or whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
Nobody was in the house, and I got literally this. You know, the Catholic Church or Christianity never started in Rome, is what I was told.
Hmm.
And of course, I still do this. Like, who's talking
Yeah.
to me?
Yeah. Your spirit guides are talking to you.
Because I wasn't expecting it, right?
Yeah.
And and then I got told Rome never died.
Hmm.
The the Catholic Church just took over the religion,
Yeah.
or the Romans took over the religion and created the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Pope, the Caesar, the
Hmm.
Senate, the cardinals. It's exactly set up exactly the same, and they just knew that they had to go about it in a different way.
Yeah.
And Rome has ruled for centuries, right?
Hmm.
So they really put this stuff as taboo in the Christian religion, right?
They shouldn't have, but yeah.
There is a thing in the scriptures that say you should not go to a soothsayer.
Hmm.
And I feel like that little scripture they've expanded upon,
Hmm.
but that's because you shouldn't be using it for your everyday life.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because I'll have people who want me to make their decisions for them, and that's wrong.
That's totally wrong. Yeah.
Because if I make a decision, they will never know if it
Hmm.
was the right decision for them. I
Yeah.
can give them all the guidance around it, what I see, what I feel.
Yeah.
Please take the information and make up your own mind, because this is a window for
Yeah.
t- but that's so if your mom has been brought up in that,
Yeah.
that's where that's coming from. So at
That's
least
that block that she has. Total
yeah,
block.
right.
Hmm.
So, and it's really good advice your boy gave you that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I
Love
hope you
him.
enjoyed this.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Okay.
I
Well,
will send you those videos and I'll send the money as well.
Okay. And what's what will be the password?
I'll just say Caden.
Okay, and I'm just gonna ask how I spell his name again.
Kaden.
Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure I had it right.
Yeah,
I'm the worst at spelling, and
that's okay.
I'm the worst at my uh you know, the uh like, I love doing this, but I don't like doing the other part.
Yeah, for sure. The money part. Yeah. The
Yeah, but
organization part. Yeah. Financial stuff. I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you gave me a call, and I hope I hear from you. Please send me those videos so I can take a look
I
at
will. So
them.
you can share them with anyone you'd like as
Yeah,
well.
I
Yeah.
think that's great.
Yeah.
So have a nice day.
You too.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.